pronounce spagyric alchemy.
That's right.
And that's how you started at a very young age.
I did, yeah. Sitting at a computer lab in high school, I had dislocated my ankle 3 times in a 90-day period. So like every 30 days, I was basically dislocating my ankle from doing skateboarding. And as a 16-year-old, all of my friends were skateboarding. And so it was like, well, to start doing something, I spent a lot of time out in the woods. And one day I was sitting there and looking around, and it dawned on me, like, I don't know any of these plants. I don't know their curative properties. I don't know their names. I don't know their ecological functions. I know nothing about them. And so sitting there with that staring me in the face, and those being my new friends, all of the green ones, all of the trees, all of the plants that were growing, and the rivers and the streams and the animals that would pass through. Of course, I knew the names of most of the animals. I didn't know the names of all of the plants and the trees and other things, or what they did, or how I could interact with them in a meaningful relationship. Just like you and I have a meaningful relationship where we can talk and share ideas and other things. I didn't know how to have that type of communion with the plants at that time. And so I went into the computer lab in school, and this was in the days of 256K dial-up, so things took a lot longer to access information in those days. But I would go online and I would try and find out the very best ways of working with various herbs and plants. And I came across this document it was called How to Make a Spagyric Tincture. And it was a flow chart from a very big alchemical group that was extraordinarily popular in the United States in the 90s and early 2000s called the Philosophers of Nature. And they had a French faction first called Le Philosophe de la Nature, where in France they were teaching all of the same curriculum since, like the late 1970s. And then they finally found a translator that was able to bring them over to North America. And his name, he's a Quebecer named Patrice Malaise. And he ended up doing all of the translation work for Jean Dubuis, who came over from France and taught these things. And so all of those English materials kind of originated out of that. And it was a simple flow chart of how to make a spagyric tincture. And I used that for a couple of years. And it wasn't until